This is one of the most interesting books I have ever read. The authors of the book are Ichiro, Kishimi and Fumitake Koga. And they've written a book that is based on the psychology and the philosophy of Alfred Adler. And Alfred Adler lived and practiced his psychology during the same time as Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung. And in the book, the authors are basing the story around a conversation between a young person, a youth, and a philosopher. And in this video, I will be talking about probably the most controversial topic of the book itself, and that is that trauma does not exist. But I will cover this in two segments. I'll start with the chapter around why people can change, and then we will wrap it up with the topic around trauma, if it exists or not. Let me know what you think about trauma. And if you enjoy the video, like and subscribe. That will help me to grow my channel. Let's get right into it. Why people can change. Youth. First, let's plan the points of discussion. You say people can change. Then you take it a step further, saying that everyone can find happiness. Philosopher. Yes, everyone, without exception. Youth. Let's save the discussion about happiness for later and address change first. Everyone wishes they could change. I know I do, and I'm sure anyone you might stop and ask on the street would agree. But why does everyone feel they want to change? There's only one answer, because they cannot change. If it were easy for people to change, they wouldn't spend so much time wishing they could. No matter how much they wish it, people cannot change. And that's why there are always so many people getting taken in by new religions and dubious self-help seminars and any preaching on how everyone can change. Am I wrong? Philosopher. Well, in response, I'd ask why you are so adamant that people can change. Youth. Here's why. I have a friend, a guy who has shut himself in his room for several years. He wishes he could go out and even thinks he'd like to have a job, if possible. So he wants to change the way he is. I say this as a friend, but I assure you he is a very serious person who could be a great use to society. Except that he's afraid to leave his room. If he takes even a single step outside, he suffers palpitations and his arms and legs shake. It's a kind of neurosis or panic, I suppose. He wants to change, but he can't. Philosopher. What do you think the reason is that he can't go out? Youth. I'm not really sure. It could be because of his relationship with his parents, or because he was bullied at school or work. He might have experienced a kind of trauma from something like that. But then, it could be the opposite. Maybe he was too pampered as a child and can't face reality. I just don't know, and I can't pry into his past or his family situation. Philosopher. So you are saying there were incidents in your friend's past that became the cause of trauma, or something similar, and as a result, he can't go out anymore. Youth. Of course. Before an effect, there's a cause. There is nothing mysterious about that. Philosopher. Then perhaps the cause of his not being able to go out anymore lies in the home environment during his childhood. He was abused by his parents and reached adulthood without ever feeling love. That's why he's afraid of interacting with people and why he can't go out. It's feasible, isn't it? Youth. Yes, it's entirely feasible. I'd imagine that would be really challenging. Philosopher. And then you say, before an effect, there's a cause. Or in other words, who am I now? The effect is determined by occurrences in the past, the causes. Do I understand correctly? Youth, you do. Philosopher, so if the here and now of everyone in the world is due to their past incidents, according to you, wouldn't things turn out very strangely? Don't you see? Everyone who has grown up abused by his or her parents would have to suffer the same effects as your friend and become a recluse, or the whole idea just doesn't hold water. That is, if the past actually determines the present and the causes control the effects. Youth, what exactly are you getting at? Philosopher, if we focus only on past causes and try to explain things solely through the cause and effect, we end up with determinism. Because what this says is that our present and our future have already been decided by past occurrences and are unalterable. Am I wrong? Youth, so you're saying that the past doesn't matter? Philosopher, yes, that is the standpoint of Adlerian psychology. Youth, I see. The points of conflict seem a bit clearer. But look, if we go by your version, wouldn't that ultimately mean that there's no reason my friend can't go out anymore? Because you're saying that past incidents don't matter. I'm sorry, but that's completely out of the question. There has to be some reason behind this seclusion. There has to be, or there'd be no explanation. Philosopher, indeed, there would be no explanation. So in Adlerian psychology, we do not think about past causes, but rather about present goals. Youth, present goals? Philosopher, your friend is insecure, so he can't go out. Think about it the other way around. He doesn't want to go out, so he's creating a state of anxiety. Youth, huh? Philosopher, think about it this way. Your friend had the goal of not going out beforehand, and he's been manufacturing a state of anxiety and fear as a means to achieve that goal. In Adlerian psychology, this is called teleology. Youth, you're joking. My friend has imagined his anxiety and fear, so you would go so far as saying that my friend is just pretending to be sick. Philosopher, he's not pretending to be sick. The anxiety and fear your friend is feeling are real. On occasion, he might also suffer from migraines and violent stomach cramps. However, these too are symptoms that he has created in order to achieve the goal of not going out. Youth, that's not true. No way. That's too depressing. Philosopher, no. This is the difference between etiology, the study of causation, and teleology, the study of purpose of a given phenomena, rather than its cause. Everything you have been telling me is based in etiology. As long as we stay in etiology, we will not take a single step forward. Now we go on to trauma does not exist. Youth, if you're going to state things so forcibly, I like a thorough explanation. To begin with, what is the difference you refer to between etiology and teleology? Philosopher, suppose you got a cold with a high fever, and you go to see the doctor. Then, suppose the doctor says the reason for your sickness is that yesterday, when you went out, you weren't dressed properly, and that's why you caught a cold. Now, would you be satisfied with that? Youth, of course I wouldn't. It wouldn't matter to me what the reason was, the way I was dressed or because it was raining or whatever. It's the symptoms, the fact that I'm suffering with a high fever, now that wouldn't matter to me. If he's a doctor, I need him to treat me by prescribing medicine, giving shots, or taking whatever specialized measures are necessary. Philosopher, Yet those who take an etiological stance, including most counselors and psychiatrists, would argue that what you were suffering from stemmed from such and such cause in the past, and would then end up just consoling you by saying, "So you see, it's not your fault." The argument concerning so-called traumas is typical of etiology. Youth: wait a minute, are you denying the existence of trauma altogether? Philosopher: yes, I am, adamantly. Youth: what? Aren't you, or I guess I should say Adler, an authority on psychology? Philosopher: in Adlerian psychology, trauma is definitely denied. This was a very new and revolutionary point. Certainly, the Freudian view of trauma is fascinating. Freud's idea is that a person's psychic wounds, traumas, cause his or her present unhappiness. When you treat a person's life as a vast narrative, there is an easily understandable causality and sense of dramatic development that creates strong impressions and is extremely attractive. But Adler, in denial of the trauma argument, states the following: no experience is in itself a cause of our success or failure. We do not suffer from the shock of our experiences, the so-called trauma, but instead we make out of them whatever suits our purposes. We are not determined by our experiences, but the meaning we give them is self-determining. Youth: so we make out of them whatever suits our purposes. Philosopher: exactly. Focus on the point Adler is making here when he refers to the self being determined not by our experiences themselves, but by the meaning we give them. He's not saying that experiences of a horrible calamity or abuse during childhood or other such incidents have no influence on forming a personality. Their influences are strong, but the important thing is that nothing is actually determined by those influences. We determine our own lives according to the meaning we give to those past experiences. Your life is not something that someone gives you, but something you choose yourself, and you are the one who decides how you live. Youth: okay, so you're saying that my friend has shut himself in his room because he actually chooses to live this way. This is serious. Believe me, it is not what he wants. If anything, it's something he was forced to choose because of circumstances. He had no choice other than to become who he is now. Philosopher: no. Even supposing that your friend actually thinks, I can't fit into society because I was abused by my parents, is still because it is his goal to think that way. Youth: what sort of goal is that? Philosopher: the immediate thing would probably be the goal of not going out. He is creating anxiety and fear as his reasons to stay inside. Youth: but why doesn't he want to go out? That's where the problem resides. Philosopher: well, think of it from the parent's view. How would you feel if your child were shut up in a room? Youth: I'd be worried, of course. I'd want to help him return to society. I'd want him to be well. And I'd wonder if I'd raised him improperly. I'm sure I would be seriously concerned and try in every way imaginable to help him back to a normal existence. Philosopher: that is where the problem is. Youth: where? Philosopher: if I stay in my room all the time, without ever going out, my parents will worry. I can't get all of my parents' attention focused on me. They'll be extremely careful around me and always handle me with kid gloves. On the other hand, if I take even one step out of the house, I'll just become part of a faceless mass whom no one pays attention to. I'll be surrounded by people I don't know, and I just end up average or less than average. And no one will take special care of me any longer. Such stories about reclusive people are not uncommon. Youth, in that case, following your line of reasoning, my friend has accomplished his goal and is satisfied with his current situation. Philosopher, I doubt he's satisfied, and I'm sure he's not happy either. But there is no doubt that he's also taking action in line with his goal. This is not something that is unique to your friend. Every one of us is living in line with some goal. That is what teleology tells us. Youth, no way. I reject that as completely unacceptable. Look, my friend is... Philosopher, listen. This discussion won't go anywhere if we just keep talking about your friend. I will turn it into a trial in absentia, and that would be hopeless. Let's use another example. Youth, well, how about this one? It's my own story about something I experienced yesterday. Philosopher, oh, I'm all ears. Let me know in the comments what you think about trauma. Do you agree with Adler, or do you believe that trauma actually exists and that they do tend to make our lives more difficult? Like and subscribe, let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next video. Take good care. Bye.